Hi betting experts, on Saturday the 3rd of December, really cracking racing on ITV on Saturday, the best of the action from Aintree and Sandown, 8 races in total. Hopefully you found a few winners. We start off with our betting expert Daily Nap in the 205. This is the Beecher Handicap Trace, 3 mile 2, class 1 for 6-year-olds and upwards. And I do think Dan Skelton can complete a Saturday hat-trick of big race wins with Ashtown Lad. Now this thorough stayer has had a pipe opener over hurdles here at a time early in November when the yard was pretty quiet. It's now hit absolutely top form. I think he's had something like 17 winners in the last 14 days, Dan. They're all absolutely flying. He should sharpen up for that first run in 7 months. He's won 1 of his 5 starts so far over fences. He's a sound jumper, a relentless stayer. I thought he ran a really good race when 5th in the Scottish National Air on his final run last season, just wilting up the straight in a very strongly run race. His pipe opener over hurdles should put him spot on here, and he should go really close with a clean round of jumping. Our betting expert value angle selection runs at Sandown in the 330. This is the London National Handicap Chase, 3 mile 5, class 2 for 5-year-olds and upwards. I think Dee's ABBA is another one who should strip fitter for a recent pipe opener over hurdles. Now Philip Hobbs's Chase has got a brilliant record over the Sandown fences. He's a sound jumper. He's well served by the railway fences down the back, coming bang, bang, bang quickly. He gains ground at all of those. He's a thorough stayer. I think the ground will be nearly good at Sandown on Saturday afternoon. We haven't had any rain at all in the area. That'll suit him. A repeat of his form back in February when he finished second behind Limailos, who's obviously come out for Skelton and been a much improved performer this winter, where anything close to that effort, he should go very close here. The remaining 6 races on ITV, starting back at Aintree in the 130 with a Many Clouds Chase, a grade 2 over 3 mile 1. Well, I think there's a few horses here with a bit to prove. I've never been a fan of Chantry House. I think Hoisinho has got to put an abysmal comeback behind him, and I think the value may lie down with the bottom with the progressive handicapper of Ruth Jeffson. Sounds Russian, should be a really big price. Got plenty to find on the figures, but he's not stopped improving over fences, and I really liked his winning reappearance at Kelso last month. He made a mistake at the first and was soon detached. It's not easy to come from miles behind at Kelso, but he made up the ground pretty readily and powered clear from the last. Obviously he's now up from Northern Handicaps into grade 2, which makes life difficult, but this looks a really good opportunity. He's only had 6 runs over fences, and I think the strong pace at this 3 mile 1 trip should suit ideally. Back to Sandown, the 145. Well, John Bon created a deep impression when flying round Warwick last month. Him and Montmoral went head-to-head at 5 furlong pace over those fences at Warwick that come up quickly, but the way he jumped and then quickened clean away on the home bend, it was a very taking performance. I think he's going to be a real top-class chaser. He has much more settled down now. I mean, in the early days, you'd be worried about Sandown because it's much more about stamina than speed up the hill, but he's the finished article now. There's loads more to come. I think he can land the odds. Back to Sandown for the 220, a really cracking handicap hurdle over 2 miles here. Well, Love Envoy comes from a yard I really like. Harry Fry places his horses carefully and sparingly, and he's got a really good strike rate. As a result, this mare was really progressive last season. She won 5 of her 6 races over hurdles, and she now starts off into handicaps after 7 months on the sideline. She's bound to be primed. She does stay further than 2 miles, but the stiff uphill finish should suit. The ground likely to be a bit softer on the hurdle course. Back to Aintree, the 240, a handicap chase over 2 mile 4. Well, I've made no secret that Elvis Mail is one of my horses to follow this winter. He could not have been any more impressive at Ayr. First time out, much more settled, jumping a lot better under Bruce Lynn. In the past, he was a hard-pulling lunatic, took plenty of settling and took a chance at his fences, but he's much improved these days. There's more to come. Bruce Lynn able to claim £3 now, not 5, but he's in the saddle again. I'm expecting a slightly more patient ride. I think he's the sort of horse who'll do really well in better races, helps him settle, helps him get into a rhythm. He's a really exciting prospect. I think he could be graded class by the end of this winter. Sandown, the 255, the Tingle Creek, a grade 1. Well, at the moment, all 6 line up for this cracking contest. Whether that's the case by the time we get to post time, I have my doubts. Edwardstone and Shishkin, both trained by trainers who have an aversion at the moment, anything with good in the description. I would imagine it's going to be at least good on that chase course. And I think Greenatine, who's got a fantastic record at Sandown. He's run 5 times at this venue, won 3 of them. He's a brilliant jumper. He returned in the Haldon Gold Cup when I think Nichols thought he was about 90% fit, jumped really well from the front and routed his rivals there. I think it'll be a similar story here. And back to Aintree for the 3:15, a handicap hurdle over 2 mile fort. Well, Herbier comes from a yard going place of Oliver Greenall, and he was really impressive in posting a career best effort at Newbury last month, coming from virtually last to first under a confident ride. He is back up in trip to 2 mile fort, but that should suit him. They're liable to go a strong pace, help him settle in the early stages, and he can defy a career high mark. Best of luck with all 8 ITV races on Saturday, betting experts.